Hello, how do, and welcome back to Edgar TV, where today we're going to be talking about the PDC World Rankings. Obviously, they've changed a lot. Again, they're going to be changing a lot. The top 4, the top 16, the top 32 are not going to look the same in a couple of months' time. Nor is the top 64, nor even is the players that are going to be competing for these positions. Because it's all going to be changing, and it's all going to be changing very, very soon. Got the Players' Championship Finals, the Grand Slam of Darts, the World Championships. Lots of prize money to defend, which is money that people won 2 years ago. That's coming off. Lots of money to win. So we're going to see a lot of change in those positions. Who would have expected Mike Edgar was going to win a major? Follow that with who expected Richie Edhouse was going to win a major. That as well, we add in the fact that some of the players that was high or big names, should we say, within the sport of darts, losing early. The rankings are going to be blown completely apart. And I'm going to talk you through everything you need to know. Just make sure you hit that subscribe button, and I will tell you where all the major talking points are coming. We'll do live streams, we'll do predictions, we'll do everything here on Edgar TV. So make sure you hit that button. But let's have a little scour through the rankings, see what's changed and where the stories do present themselves. Robbie John Rodriguez was in this a couple of years ago, should I say, as was Vincent van der Voort. We know they was defending and they couldn't because they wasn't in the event. Now, Robbie John comes out the top 64, as does Vincent van der Voort. Robbie John will be in the Grand Slam of Darts because he reached the World Cup final alongside Mensur Suljovic. Vincent van der Voort will not be. So, a big opportunity. Well, he could win through the qualifier, couldn't he? So, a few little moves there, but they're the two. They go out of the tour card positions. A couple of little minor moves there. Ricky Evans and Martin Lutman switching places. But as we get towards the top 32, this is where changes start to make. Jermaine Wattimania, the runner-up. I told you to keep an eye on him. I told you he'll have a run somewhere. He has a good run. He moves himself towards the top 32, just £50,000 away. Jose de Souza continues to drop away, though, which appears to be the problem for him at the moment, just losing prize money left, right and centre. He's got quite a bit to defend as well at the back end of the year, so we could see a situation where I think Jose doesn't get back into the top 32. Scott Williams, someone who probably needs to get into the top 32 soon, due to the fact that next year he's got that big prize money coming off the World Championship semi-final, so probably needs to get into that position where he can gain some benefits of that big run at the World Championship. He's not really cashed that in yet. Luke Woodhouse, good run for him, keeps his chance of getting into the top 32 alive. Christoph Ratajski is probably the player they're eyeing up at the moment. Christoph Ratajski has £37,000 to defend at the back end of the year. He's got £18,000 of that safe and guaranteed at the moment in terms of what he can get from the events. So he's got £19,000 to defend, and he's not picking up too many wins at the moment. He's obviously got players behind him as well, like Petretsko and Van Veen, who aren't really defending much at all. So we could see Ratajski come out of the top 32 as well. I think he's someone who could get back in. I don't see him being out there for long, but at the moment, outside of that. Edhouse picking up the title sees him go up 10 places to world number 29. The back end of the year he's defending £22,000 from his majors and from the last couple of Pro Tours, of which he is now guaranteed £23,000. That is £15,000 now because he's in the second round of the World Championship, being seeded by being in the world's top 32. He also gets £3,000 for the Players' Championship Finals and £5,000 minimum for the Grand Slam of Darts. So even if he doesn't win another game at the back end of this year, he's going to put £1,000 on his rankings. That being said, any wins in those will see him jump even higher. So Richie Edhouse could be someone who gets a little bit more safe and a little bit more firm within the world's top 32. Gary Anderson's been in the top 32 for quite some time. He is actually getting closer to go back into the top 16 if you take a look at his position in the rankings. Gary Anderson defending £32,000 at the back end of the year. He's got £23,000 of that safe, so £9,000 potentially coming off if he loses first round in everything. So he's going to be firm around that world's 20 mark. But actually when we look ahead to the 16, he's about 20k off. So any run for Gary Anderson will see him in a good position. Ross Smith did go out first round, so we see him drop 13 places from world number 9 to world number 22. I think that's more of a fair reflection of where Ross Smith is, and that sort of big major title really bolstering his position. He's got that off his rankings now, and I think he's probably going to firm up around that sort of early 20s position potentially in the rankings. James Wade, someone we know about in regards to getting back into the top 16, defending barely anything. £33,000 of his money on the line. £18,000 of that is safe so far. So he's only defending 15,000. He'll stay in the top 32. I think he'll actually improve his position. Joe Cullen improved his position, you see there in 17, up one place, but I don't think he's going to get back into the top 16. Back end of the year, Joe Cullen defending £77,000, which I think is just a little bit too big for him at the moment. Staying within that battle of the top 16, Ryan Searles moved back into the top 16. He goes up 3 places. Peter Wright drops down 1, but he's only defending £35,000 at the back end of the year, so it's not the end of the world for him, especially considering he's got 18 of that banked. So he's only defending £17,000 at the back end of the year, so he's still going to be around that top 16 for a little bit longer. And who knows with Peter Wright, he could quite easily go on quite a deep run. We know what he's like for these runs out of nowhere. Moving ahead, looking forward, Damon Heta moves up 2 ranks despite the fact he went out first round again here. He's only defending 8.1% of his prize money at the back end of the year. He's guaranteed to defend 23,000 of the £38,000 he's going to be defending. So £15,000. I think Damon Heta is in prime position here with one good run. One good run. He's got 3 chances. He's got the Slam. He's got the Players' Championship Finals. He's got the World Championships. Where one good run and he's going to be in the Premier League conversation, because he will be pretty much going into the top 4, especially when we've got to look at Michael Smith, who's going to be dropping down the rankings, potentially going from world number 2 to being outside of the top 16. Gerwyn Price is defending £89,000. We know he's not going to be in Grand Slam of Darts because he's not entering the qualifier. Well, that's what we've heard. He may still enter at a later date, and the form he's showing at the moment suggests that he's not going to be going deep in any of the tournaments to defend 89 grand. So Gerwyn Price could go down below Damon Heta. In fact, he's likely to go down below Damon Heta. So Heta's actually in a very prime position, as is Dave Chisnell, just outside the top 4. We already know Michael Smith's going to be dropping out of there. Michael van Gerwen has got £330,000 to defend at the back end of the year. So there's a chance here Dave Chisnell goes into the top 4, which gets him into the Premier League as well, because he's only defending £23,000. £46,000 on the line, £23,000 of that is safe already. So lots of interesting points there. The top 4 is the really interesting one, because that's the guaranteed Premier League spots. So top 4, guaranteed Premier League. Top 16, Match Play and Grand Prix guaranteed. Match Play they are seeded for, and the top 8 are seeded for the Grand Prix. Seeded for the World Championships for the top 32. Tour cards for the top 64. So there's something to play for all the way down. So the ranking in shake-ups are quite good. Now, as you've seen, a lot of names, people we just spoke about there, defending big money but not in form. So question marks over them. So this is where I'm now going to pose it to you. My prediction is one of Damon Heta or Dave Chisnell. Took a second to remember it. Go into the top 4 to get into the Premier League spot. I think Gary Anderson re-breaks the top 16. Christoph Ratajski comes out with the top 32. They're my predictions for the back end of the year. Let me know down below what you think. Who's going to be a interesting mover or shaker going up, and who's going to be going down. But keep it on those points. Either a top 4, top 16, top 32... somewhere where they're on that staircasing system to the next level. Who's going down, who's going up? Let me know. I'll catch you soon for some more Edgar TV. And don't forget to subscribe for lots of interesting ranking videos and predictions right here on Edgar TV.